Hello and welcome into Hawkeye Headquarters Weekly podcast. Evan Dent alongside Joel Keller. Joel, Iowa is playing the best football in all the Big Ten right now. They just beat Minnesota 41-3. Floyd is staying home. What are your thoughts about the game on Saturday?
It was just amazing.
Yeah.
The game was over by the end of the first quarter. Like, what more could you ask for? And keeping Floyd home, beating Minnesota after what they did to Iowa 2 years ago with whatever you call it, invalid fair catch signal, whatever. That was a good feeling.
I think that was the best example of complementary football we've seen all year. They had an offensive touchdown, defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown, throwing the ball, running the ball, you name it. Iowa was dominant from start to finish.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was that was what football was meant to look like.
Right. So if you had to, I guess, summarize that game in 3 words, what would those words be?
Iowa football, Hawkeyes are back. Sorry, I didn't get that set up to make sure it's 3 words. But Hawkeyes are back. I think last year, or the last 5 years, and beginning of this year, everyone's kind of like, okay, like Hawkeye football, it's 7-5, 8-4. But now it's like this is a team that will go out and they will dominate the teams they're supposed to, and then they can beat the good teams too. This is kind of like what Iowa was 2015 to 2018, 2019, where they can win the big games.
Right. My 3 words were sending a message, all right? Beginning of the year, they couldn't force turnovers. Now the last 3-4 games are getting multiple turnovers. So the defense is definitely picking up the pace. And also, they are the least penalized team in the country. So they're not beating themselves with pre-snap penalties like false starts or offsides. You have to beat Iowa at their own game. And the Hawkeyes, the last 3 games, 3-0 now, they're looking very, very good.
Yeah, and I think that the penalty thing too, that's been almost my entire life. I think is Iowa just does not. You don't see any flags thrown.
Right.
And it's crazy because I'll watch on Sunday. I'm a Giants fan. That's the most penalized team. So it's just such a different ball game between the two, and it's so nice to see Iowa not make just those mistakes of holding on to a jersey. Right. When the rusher's coming, or false starts as well.
They don't give their opponents any free yards, and I think in this day and age in college football, that is gigantic. And the Hawkeyes know their formula, and that starts with defense. The defense is playing at a championship level. As of right now, who is your defensive MVP for this team?
I mean, you could name 11 of them.
You really could, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it this weekend. It's kind of nice because there's not a Cooper DeJean or a Desmond King that's stands out on the defense. So you can't really game plan around that one guy. It's if you don't want to throw the Lutmer, well, guess what? TJ Hall and Deshaun Lee have stepped up. And it's if you want to run the ball, well, this defensive line is crazy. Jaden Montgomery has slid into that middle linebacker role very well. And they've been so perfect. But I think I would for my MVP, I'd go to Aaron Graves. Just the rock solid of having that hard-nosed defensive tackle that can disrupt runs, can get to the passer. It's just it's a tone setter for this defense.
I think you stole my notes, because I literally have Aaron Graves as well. He has 4 sacks and an interception, but he's just constantly in the backfield and causing havoc for the opposing team, which allows Jaden Montgomery to come through and get some tackles, or Xavier Wamput out of the secondary. He would be my second MVP, if you will, because he is playing some of his best ball right now. He's laying some big-time hits, and he's becoming a real leader on the secondary. And I think this defense, they're fortunate to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they are. Him and Lutmer have this entire secondary has stepped it up, elevated to another level that I don't think anyone really thought they could coming into the year. It's kind of if they get it together, if they all work it out, there's always if before it. But now they have done it. And, I mean, this team looks phenomenal.
I think the common take was Iowa has a strong front 7, but the back 4, that's kind of been a question mark.
Yeah.
But the Doughboys, they are earning their title once again. Obviously, Zach Lutmer over my left shoulder with the pick 6 to extend the pick 6 streak to not 1, not 2, but 18 straight years. These guys are balling out in the secondary.
They are, and what's so I don't know if there's another team that does it like Iowa does, where when they get an interception, a fumble, or something that they can return, they line up those blockers.
Yes,
it's so quick, and it's like a flying V almost down the sideline. Yeah. It's just beautiful to see. When they say make sports art, like that is art right there.
Now, Lumber was saying after the game that he had probably the easiest job on that pick six return.
Yeah.
Because Montgomery took 2 people out. He said the Aaron Graves blocked someone too. He just had to run a straight path and make one person miss. And being inside Kenny, when that play happened, the place went nuts. They got the monkey off their back, if you will. And from there, just snowballed to a 41-3 victory. But Lumber wasn't the only DB that had interceptions. So did TJ Hall. How have you seen his game improve this year?
I mean, he's confidence, I think, is the big thing. We talked about it last week, I think. But he seems like he's meant to be there. And he's made these big plays, contested plays against some really good receivers.
Right.
And, you know, that's going to be big when Oregon comes to town, when Iowa goes out to L.A. and plays USC. To have him playing at the level that he is, where he can stay on a man and he can flip in the zone too when needed, that's big time for the Hawks.
He's definitely taken his lumps in his career, but he's definitely grown from it. And now he's not missing any tackles. He is, as the kids would say, seatbelt coverage downfield. He is turning into a lockdown corner.
Yeah.
And like you said, Oregon coming up and USC, who have bigger receivers, he's definitely going to have his tough matchups, but I think he's up for it.
Yeah, I think so too. And a couple weeks ago, Kirk Ferentz at the presser was like, "Oh, some NFL guys are asking about TJ Hall." I was like, "What? Like really?" But now it's like we're starting to see why. He's starting to really show it, and he's got a prime opportunity these next couple of weeks.
He absolutely does. Let's go over to the offensive side of the ball now. Obviously, Mark Gronowski, cool, calm, collected, under center. Just how have you seen his leadership really take this Iowa offense to the next level?
Yeah, I think obviously the whole team goes as the quarterback goes, and having the quarterback play that Iowa did, Petrus was probably a good leader. I mean, we talked about outstanding guy, but Cade McNamara being out and things kind of like shaky because of that. Deacon Hill, who hadn't seen too much time, Brendan Sullivan, who really hadn't seen too much playing time. Yeah, you had a lot of people who were stepping into that leadership role on like the highest level of college football, where they had only really held that in high school, and it's not quite the best experience, right? But Gronowski has really shown how a quarterback that has that winning mentality, that has that leadership potential to bring everyone and elevate with him, he's showing that now with the Hawkeyes and how that pays off.
And then you pair him with Tim Lester, who I think both have a point to prove. Like, you know what, we deserve to be here. We are in the right spot. They seemingly are almost always ahead of the chains on first and second down, which leads to third and manageable compared to, say, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 consistently. I think that's been a big part about why Iowa's seen a jump in their scoring on offense this year.
Yeah, that was always the thing. It was, all right, if the Hawks get stopped on their 2 running plays on first and second down, then it's 3rd and long, and, well, they're not going to complete anything to get a first down there. So staying ahead of the stakes, not only, like, this offense, obviously, much better than past years, averaging 32 points per game, but they're staying ahead of the sticks, and that allows them to take those shots, or at least attempt to take the shots, which makes teams have to, they can't just sit back or sit up front and load the box. They have to respect that ability. So it changes everything.
And even when they do want to load the box, Kamari Moulton is a battering ram in between the tackles. When he gets to the outside, not many people are going to catch him in the Big Ten. He has really elevated his game over the last 3 games, which, you look at it, that's been a 3-game win streak for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, getting the running game going, that's the Hawkeye way. And what really helps Moulton, too, I think, is that they have the stable to turn to. So maybe Moulton still is getting the massive bulk of the carries when he's healthy, but he doesn't have to be on every down, and he can do a couple of blocks and stuff.
Yeah, they snuck in Nathan McNeil a couple times in the first half against Minnesota. Like, okay, they're slowly using this freshman more and more, so maybe he's going to have a bigger role towards the end of the season. But the Swiss Army knife of the Iowa offense is Caden Weegan. I mean, he is a highlight waiting to happen. Tim Lester doing a great job of getting him the ball in space. He is an absolute highlight machine when he gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk after he won the Best Return of the Year award last year. Is he really an NFL guy? I think right now they're showing this guy, he can play in the NFL. He can make guys miss. He's got the speed, and he just, when the ball is in his hands, great things happen. Like, you can't deny that.
Yeah. I think he's in line to be Iowa's next All-American and keep the streak going. He obviously came from the JUCO ranks. We're going to talk to his former head coach later this week on Hawkeye Headquarters, so stay tuned for that. But also on the outside, we've got Reese Vanderzee. He is back. He is healthy. He caught a contested touchdown pass over John Nestor, a former Hawkeye, on Saturday. Different element of the offense is finally back for the Hawkeyes.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. And he only had the one catch on Saturday, but the impact he had with that touchdown and just what that can show, what that can bring for the rest of this season, just the confidence between the two in game to make the plays like they claim they do in practice. Like Mark Gronowski said a couple weeks ago, I was throwing up to Reese all the time. They were making great plays. So now they're showing it, and it's just another aspect of this Iowa offense that you got to prepare for, and a strong Iowa offense at that.
It's looking very scary right now.
It is. This is a legit team.
Yeah. In honor of Halloween, this offense is looking spooky. But I digress. Mark Gronowski, I'm not going to talk Heisman, but he is a legitimate contender for Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, is he not?
I think so. I mean, the jump that Iowa has made over the past couple years, I mean, you got to look straight at that man. I mean, not much has changed personnel-wise other than Mark came in and is putting the Hawks up 31-0 in the first half.
And I know Mendoza over at Indiana, yes, they beat Iowa. They're number 2 in the country. He's putting up great stats. But just the overall transition for this Iowa offense, because of Mark Gronowski, it runs through him. I mean, obviously he's the quarterback, but just they're so much more confident with him under center, and I feel like he has a legitimate case to win Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. All right, so Halloween is coming up. We have a new segment called Trick or Treat, okay? If a statement is false, it's a trick. But if the statement is true, it's a treat, okay? So hear me out on this. 3 Iowa football players will make Big Ten first team all defense at the end of the year. Is that trick or treat?
I think it's a treat.
Okay.
I think so. Aaron Graves is probably a lock for that. And then I think, X has really shown out. Cohen Entringer has shown out as well. Either one of those could match with Caleb Downs as like the 2 safeties back there, or I don't know if they do 2 safeties, 2 corners, or just 4 DBs. Right. It kind of like changes throughout all the awards, I swear. But so one of them, and then I mean, there's so like, does TJ Hall now play his way into a spot with a couple of picks, and then Ethan Herkett and Max Llewellyn have been getting after. They have the sacks to back it up. So I think 3 is a good little baseline. I think they're going to get 3.
Okay. I went with trick. I agree that Aaron Graves is at this point nearly a lock to be first team at the defensive line. I just think there are too many other talented DBs in the Big Ten. I agree that Xavier Wampa and even Zach Lummer are making a push.
Yeah.
And TJ Hall, I don't think he gets the conference-wide recognition that he deserves. So because of that, I have at the most only 2 players, but then a couple of second team and honorable mention players. But this defense definitely deserves to get some first team recognition.
Yeah, 100%. And no matter where it comes from, I mean, every level of that defense is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. All right. Iowa can make the playoff as a 9-3 team if they beat Oregon after the bye week.
Trick.
Okay.
I think. Oregon would be a great win. It does hurt a little bit that Oregon already lost this year. They came in undefeated. Maybe you could convince me, but a one-loss Oregon team, even if they finish the year with 1 loss, or I guess it'd be 2 losses then,
right.
Even if they go out and sneak into the Big Ten Championship and win, I still think that's not enough to get a 3-loss team into the playoff. And as much as I love Iowa in the playoff, 9-3 as a football fan cannot be a part of that 12-team playoff. It cannot. That'd be just too insane.
I have treat, actually.
Wow.
I think if they beat Oregon and then that 1 additional loss is to USC the following week, I know they don't want to talk about moral victories, okay? But the fact that they played Indiana the closest of anyone this year, all right, I think the committee will take that into consideration. And, look how Iowa has transformed in the second half of the year, that it could be enough as long as they beat both MSU and Nebraska to get in. I do think at some point a 3-loss team will get in, and I believe the Hawkeyes, they have the right path to do it this year.
I could see it.
Yeah.
They would need some help, I think, from the rest of college football. Right. It's all a little cloudy right now with a whole bunch of 2- and 1-loss teams that are right there. It's like they all control their destiny. Like even Nebraska
Mhm.
is one of those teams, Michigan. And so there's a lot of stuff going on right now about that. So there is probably a path, I agree.
All right, let's do one more trick or treat. Let's go to women's basketball.
Mhm.
All right. Addie Deal, a lot of talk about her coming in for her freshman year. By the time her Hawkeye career is done, her jersey will be up in the Carver Hawkeye Arena rafters.
I think saying it right now, I hate to say it, but I think it's a trick.
Okay.
I would love to go treat.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen her play yet, number one. Number two, they don't really retire too many
They
jerseys. So, I mean, you have to be Caitlin Clark level good, basically. And to put that amount of expectation on a player right now, I don't think it's fair to her. I would love to see it, but I think making that claim today is a bit of a trick. It's really hard to do that.
You have to be a program changer in order to
Yeah.
get your jersey up in the rafters because, in my opinion, they should have put Kate Martin's jersey up alongside Caitlin Clark's because, of course, Kate Martin was the glue of that team.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of expectations. I know it's
Yeah.
kind of a reach at this point, but I think she can be a very good player. My answer was trick as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we need to let it play out for a little bit to see if she's worthy of getting her jersey retired.
Yeah, a couple first-team All-Americans thrown in there, maybe a little ring in there for a natty. Then we can talk.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do a quick 2-minute drill. Let's look forward to Iowa football's next game. It is against Oregon. It won't be a night game,
Mhm.
so it's either going to be 11 a.m. or 2:30. Which one do you think is more advantageous for the Hawkeyes?
Well, on my behalf, I'd love a 2:30.
Yeah.
11 a.m. is a little early for me.
Okay.
To you got to get food and all that before the game. But I think it would be advantageous for the Hawkeyes to get that 11 a.m. kick.
Mhm.
It'd be an early morning for these kids from Oregon. They're going to be groggy, and Iowa's going to come out ready to hit some pads.
Now, initially, I was going to say 11 o'clock, but then I looked at the schedule. Oregon also has a bye week this week. So I don't think that 11 a.m. kick will be as drastic of a difference.
Yeah.
But 2:30 this past Saturday against Minnesota was an absolute game changer because Kinnick, Blackout, they were ready to go.
That's true.
I'm kind of leaning towards, like you said, 2:30 because it gives people more of an opportunity to get up in the day, maybe
Get
have a beverage or two, get some good food inside you, get your lungs open. But I think 2:30 will be the prime time for Iowa. Any nervousness about them going into this bye week and losing their momentum?
I mean, we saw them come out of this last bye week firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Kirk and company, they're going to get them ready to go. They're going to probably scout out Oregon pretty well. It's going to be a tough game, and they know that, which is why I like that they have the extra time to prepare.
Yeah. And obviously, we're going to have a lot more in-depth coverage about individual matchups next week. But there are some very unique one-on-one battles. You got Dan Lanning at 39 versus Kirk Ferentz at 70. You've got Phil Parker, the most experienced offensive coordinator, against Dante Moore, first-year starter at quarterback for Oregon, and their up-and-coming OC, Will Stein. Is there a matchup that really stands out to you as the one that could lead to either Oregon or Iowa winning this matchup?
I think Kirk and Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning, he's trying to take down a legend, an icon, and he's kind of like the up-and-coming name. And we both have given him his flowers this season and for the work he's done in Oregon. So I think he can make a statement here with the win over Kirk, when it seems like everyone's starting to think like, okay, maybe Iowa's the cool underdog pick in this game. Kinnick, when the lights come on at halftime, gets that second wave of energy. Who knows what can happen?
I mean, you talk about polar opposites. You got Dan Lanning, who takes all kinds of risks, where Kirk Ferentz is very close to the book, goes by what he's known over the years. I feel whoever scores first, say if Iowa scores first, you're going to see Oregon take even more risk. But if Oregon scores, if it's now, say, 4th and 3 from the 40-yard line, is Iowa going to kick field goals, or are they going to go for the first down and be more aggressive? So I think that very first score is going to be very telling in this game.
And Kirk's going to say, we want that ball.
He is, yes. And they made it work against Minnesota for sure.
Finally. It's got to be the first time this season.
Yep. All right, well, Iowa's clicking on all cylinders going into the second bye week alongside Joel Keller, Evan Denton, for Hawkeye Headquarters Weekly podcast.